I don't got time for that. I don't got the time to impress a woman, especially since I've gone to a place like Brazil and all I needed to say is hello, how are you doing in Portuguese, and take her out on a simple little Insta date, and that's all I need to do to impress her.
Y eres muy guapo.
Oh, gracias. Y tú eres muy guapa también. Over here in the States, you gotta fucking fight sharks, fight the Ninja Turtles, fight Shredder, go through all these hoops to impress a chick here. And that's still not guaranteed that you're gonna impress her.
Hey, Jamie Woods, we here to travel and motivate. No curry, we just trying to keep our minds in the golden state. We answer to nobody but the Lord, we control our fate. Too many things to see just to sit in a hole and bake. We growing, hey.
Helen play waddle. Helen, скажи Джеймсу привет. Слышишь? Helen very loud.
Yeah, no, she's but very good people. You know, the both of you are my favorite Ukrainian people.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, every time that I go through my TikTok and I see a post by you or Helen, it shocks me.
Oh,
you guys make such good dancing videos. Here's the thing about dating overseas that is a major upside, and this is the reason why I prefer to date overseas than here in the States, and why I prefer foreign women over women here. So here's the thing. America has a lot of attractive women. Okay, I know a lot of brothers don't want to admit that or say that, but we do have a lot of attractive women here in the United States from all different races, ethnicities, because we're a huge melting pot. Everyone wants to come live here, meaning we got everyone from every single country here in the United States. So of course, we're going to have a lot of attractive women here in the States. But the big problem with the United States is that the high value women, the women that are very attractive, are kind of out of reach. So if you're an average dude making average money or below average money, these type of girls that you actually want are out of reach. You're not going to be able to reach them unless you get yourself a unicorn, right? Because like I said before, a lot of these women are trying to go after the ballers. They're trying to go after the high value guys that are making six figures, millionaires, all that. They're not trying to go after the average guy like you and I, for example, that are making $50K in less than a year, which is the average salary here in America. So like I said, there are a lot of attractive high value women here in the States, but they're very unreachable because they're not looking out after us. They're trying to get the ballers, right? The one percenters. Now, you as an American man making average salary here in the States, you can take that overseas to a Brazil, a Colombia, and now you're considered the top 1% of that country. So the way the women here in the United States treat the men here, the women over there will be treating you. You know what I mean? Meaning all those high value, amazing looking, amazing women that you've always dreamed of are now going to come knocking at your door. Not literally, right? You still got to go out there and get them, but they're going to be more interested in you. So these girls that are great looking are actually going to try to talk to you. They're interested in you. They want to see where things go. They're going to be intimate with you. They're going to be passionate with you, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you're going to be experiencing all these type of things. And so let's just say, so you got yourself a single woman that's 25-year-old in the prime of her life, beautiful, intelligent, dresses very well, educated, right? So you got this dime, you go out on dates, you're only spending $20, $30 for these 5-star dinner dates. You can go on helicopter rides for a couple bucks. You can do all these things that you would, or these activities, I should say. You can do all these activities in those countries that you wouldn't be able to do here in the States because it's a lot cheaper there, right? You can go zip lining, whatever the case. If you guys want to go out every day in a foreign country, you could because you can afford it compared to here in the States where you try to do a helicopter ride around Manhattan, that's an arm and a leg. You try to do anything here, you try to go to Disney World, that's an arm and a leg here. Everything is an arm and a leg in the United States, unless you're rich and you can afford it, which most of us aren't. You know what I mean? However, you are technically kind of rich overseas. So you're able to do this every day, eat out every day, and you're attracting the cream of the crop of that country. So there's more bang for your buck there. There's more return on your investment in these countries compared to here in the States, where the type of woman you want aren't looking out for you, right? Unless they're a unicorn. And then the women that are looking out for you are either well into their 30s or 40s, already got 1, 2, 3 kids with crazy baby daddies. That's really all you're attracting is older women or women that are baby mamas. That's all you're really attracting here in the United States, especially if you're in your 30s, right? So if you're a man in your late 20s, 30s, that's really all you're going to see unless you got game, right? So now there's always those men that got game, that got that swag to them, that charm, that are able to attract women no matter what, right? So you do have those type of people. But for the most part, the regular dude, I mean, who's got the time to really spit game at all these women and do all this type of shit? Who's really got time for that? No, I don't got time for that. I don't got the time to impress a woman, especially since I've gone to a place like Brazil and all I needed to say is, hello, how are you doing in Portuguese, and take her out on a simple little Insta date. And that's all I need to do to impress her. Over here in the States, you got to fucking fight sharks, fight the Ninja Turtles, fight Shredder, go through all these hoops to impress a chick here. And that's still not guaranteed that you're going to impress her. So that's the thing, is you get more bang for your buck overseas. You're able to date the type of woman you want and do the type of things that you want to do every day, compared to you, and for a fraction of the price, by the way, compared to you being here in the States, dating single mothers and overweight women and older women, and you're paying 2, 3, 4, 5 times the amount for these dates and these activities. So it really depends on what you guys are looking at here. There's higher return on your investment, more bang for your buck overseas than what there is here in the States. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I date overseas, because I'm able to get the type of woman I want, right? And do things and activities, go on dates, live in amazing places for a fraction of the price, compared to here in the States, where I'm dating, I'm not saying all the time, but you're dating single mothers, older women that are past their prime. Maybe they're not all that. There might be 6s, whatever the case is. And you're going to these 5-star restaurants, right? Because if you take them to, Applebee's or Cheesecake Factory or Starbucks, like that video I played for you guys earlier, they're going to flip out on you. So you're going to take these girls out on 5-star dinners, spend an arm and a leg, a couple $100 for a chick that's not even that worth it, to be honest with you. And she might not even like you like that. She might be using you for a date. You know what I mean? So which one are you going to pick? It ain't going to be the latter, in my opinion. I'm going to pick the foreign girl, in my opinion. Fuck that. But of course, like I said, you can still meet amazing women here, but you got to really do your research over here.
Jaime,
I gotta drop those
very
receipts.
beautiful, Jaime.
Hello.
Sí, sí.
Si eres muy guapo.
Oh, gracias. Y tú eres muy guapa también.
Hey, Tyrone, where you going? Fuck somebody's wife. Stop.
Oh, gracias.
I had to give you guys a little bit of receipts. You know what I mean? I had to give you guys a little bit of receipts there, because I don't want people to think I'm talking out of my ass and I actually haven't been exposed to these type of things. As you guys saw, 2 women right there from Brazil. One of them told me, in fact, let me put myself on the full screen. Both of them told me I was good looking. When have you guys ever been out over here in the States to the gym, an event, the club, whatever, and you had 2 beautiful women tell you, hey, I think you're cute, I think you're attractive? That doesn't happen that often, because women over here are taught to not show interest, right? They want to be the prize, so they expect you to chase after them and compliment them. And if they like you, they'll give you a shot. And if they don't, then maybe they might use you for your money or for dinner dates, right? So that's the culture we have here in America, compared to a place like Brazil. Because I keep mentioning Brazil, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, because I have experience in Brazil. The other countries I can't really speak about as much. But with Brazil, for example, they're taught the opposite. They're taught, if you like a man, you make your intentions known, as you guys saw. Those were 2 beautiful women telling me straight up, hey, I think you're attractive. One of them told me in English. The other one told me in Spanish, even though she's from Brazil and speaks Portuguese, but she's bilingual, right? So they both told me I was beautiful or handsome, right? And that caught me off guard. I ain't going to lie to you guys. When they told me that, I didn't know how to react. By the way, those full clips, the full videos for those clips I showed you guys are on my Patreon. So if you guys want to see the full videos, check out my Patreon, $5 a month, cheap as hell. One of the best bang for your bucks. All right. So check that out. The link's in the description. But anyways, guys, so those 2 girls told me that I didn't know how to react, because I'm not used to women telling me that here in the States, because I'm used to women acting like they shit don't stink and you know, pretending like they're not interested, even though they are interested, right? You have a lot of girls here that might be interested in you, but they're acting like they're not interested in you, right? They're not making much eye contact with you. They're not really looking at you as much. You know, they're one-word answers, but they're actually interested. It makes no sense. Like, if you would actually show a little bit of interest, maybe that might encourage a dude to talk to you more and make something happen. But it's almost like they want you to go through all these hoops over here. Like they're doing all these games and shit over here compared to in Brazil, where they're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to date them. As you guys saw, those girls liked me. They let me know what it was. I let them know what it was. Now, nothing came about it, right? Because I was talking to other girls at that time, but I still felt flattered that they were bold enough to even tell me that, because most girls here will not ever tell you that, especially girls at their caliber. Right? I'm not saying those girls are all that. I'm not saying they're dimes, right? But they're still very beautiful women. And they're over here telling me, hey, I think you're cute. I think you're handsome. You're not going to really see that over here like that in the States. Rel Love says, do Brazilians throw themselves at you like DR? I had women before I left the airport in DR. Now, let me say this again. So Brazil is a confusing country. Because like I said, Brazil, you can have it very easy or it can be a little bit difficult depending. A couple things, like I said before, you got to know Portuguese. One, so you got to know, you have to have a basic or minimal understanding of Portuguese. Otherwise, you're going to be P for peeing, because these girls are not going to be able to, some of them don't want to talk to you unless you know Portuguese or have a minimal understanding of Portuguese. And for you to find a woman that speaks fluent English or that knows a little bit of English in Brazil is slim to none. Most girls don't know English, right? And I thought I would at least have an advantage because I'm a Spanish speaker. So I assumed, okay, they don't know English, they might know Spanish. Nah, a lot of girls don't even understand Spanish over there. Maybe they might pick up on a couple its and bits, but they don't really understand Spanish like that over there. So I wasn't really at an advantage over there, right? I you know, I got a couple girls over there, but it wasn't anything crazy because the thing is of the language barrier. I got more lucky in Sao Paulo when I went to Sao Paulo. But that's the thing, guys, is you got to know Brazilian. You got to know Portuguese. You got to be able to be social. So you got to go out of your way and talk to them. But I have experienced the opposite where I had girls actually approach me. Now, some of them were pros. Okay. So you got to be able to distinguish that, right? Because some girls will come up to you, being all nice to you, kissy, whatever. And then you end up texting them. You find out they're a pro. Right? Because they give you their rates. Be very careful with that unless you're into that lifestyle. Okay. But you do also have some girls that are normal women, you know, that are looking for an affection, are looking for a partner that will kind of approach you to talk to you. And then you also do have girls that throw strong choose signals. Like, so they'll throw you strong choosing signals in Brazil. Stronger than anything I've ever experienced here in America. In America, a choosing signal here in America would be they look at you once and they turn back, right? It'll be like a slight look, a slight glance, right? You're at the gym, you're doing your thing, the thumbnail, and then you'll see homegirl beside you kind of like looking at you. And then when you turn around, she'll turn around, right? That'll be like a choosing signal here. In Brazil, nah, these girls are going to make it very obvious that they like you, right? If they like you, they're going to make it very obvious. I've had girls stare me down in Copacabana. You can ask my friend if you guys don't believe me, right? And I'm not all that, but I'll be walking in Copacabana and there'll be chicks, all different races, white, black, tan, Pocahontas, no matter, walking down. And I'm the type of dude where I'm not scared to make eye contact with a woman, right? So I make eye contact with women. I'm not scared to make eye contact with women. Like, if I like a woman, I want her to know that I like her. And the way you can do that is eye contact. But of course, you don't want to be creepy about it where you're like that the entire time, right? You want to be able to look at them, let them know what it is through your eyes, right? Because they can tell if you like them just by your eye contact, right? They can tell. You want them to know that you're a confident man, that you're interested in them, and see how they handle that, right? Some girls will like look out of the way. They'll be like, nah, because they're not really interested in you, or maybe they're shy. And then some other girls, which I met some girls, will be very bold. So they'll literally give you the craziest eye contact, right? And you'll keep walking and you turn around to see if they're still looking at you, and they're still looking at you. They're waiting for you to make a move. And then I've had some girls actually approach me to talk to me. One of the slickest ones was I never talked about this before, actually. It literally just came to my mind right now. So literally I was in Copacabana. I was in one of those like pop-up bars, whatever you want to call them, like little restaurants by the beach. So I was there in Copacabana. I was with my boy. We're sitting down, and we were by like, I don't even know how to describe it, but there was like like a random outlet by us for some reason. And this one girl this one girl with a bunch of other girls in their table. One of them stood up and she wanted to charge her phone, right? So literally, she got up, plugged her phone, said hi to us, started talking to us, all that. And I saw how much battery she had. She had like 98% battery. And I noticed that as she was speaking to us, and she kept speaking to us and speaking to us, and I was like, huh, like, did this girl actually want to charge her phone, or did she use that as an excuse to talk to one of us? You know what I mean? And it went well. We talked, we exchanged numbers. Nothing really came out of that, right? Because she lived far. She lived in like a whole nother city in Rio. Because Rio is not just a city, it's a state, right? There's other cities within the state. So she lived in a different city. She was just visiting there. But I guess I wasn't like, quick enough to get her back to the crib. So by the time I did text her, she was in a whole different city. But I think she used that as an excuse to talk to me. So some girls will find slick ways to talk to you. I've also had some girls that hit on me in the bathroom. So I'll be going to the bathroom, and the bathrooms in Copacabana in Rio, by the beach, that you usually have to walk down the stairs. You're in the basement and you use the bathroom. You pay a little something, and then you go in and you do what you got to do. So I was in the line. There was a chick with her mother, and she started hitting on me in front of her mother. And I felt a little uncomfortable at first, but I'm like, all right, the mother seems like she's cool with it. She's giving me her blessing, so I'm just going to hit on her. Like, whatever, who gives a damn? So I'll be talking to her. It'll go well and whatever. But that's just the way it is in Brazil, where you will have girls that will shoot their shot at you. You will have girls that are not afraid to show you that they're interested in you, as you guys saw from those clips. These girls are willing to put themselves out there to get what it is that they want, and I respect that, right? But it's not done in a masculine way. It's done in a very feminine way, to where they're sweet about it. They're like, oh, you're so handsome, or whatever case is. They're not like attacking you to get you, you know what I mean? But it's cute. I think it's cute when when a woman shows interest. I think it's very cute compared to here in the States, where it's the complete opposite. They try to make it seem like they don't care about you here.